Peggy 7.
Amplitude Studios is a game development studio based in Paris. We're a team of about 70 gamers who've been making games together for 7 years now. Our specialty is the strategy genre, and our most recent releases are Endless Legend and Endless Space 2. We've been trying to evolve the genre by deepening the links between the lore and the gameplay, and we also sometimes go a little off base, like with our roguelike Dungeon of the Endless game. Community-driven development is really a core philosophy of our studio. We've been using our online platform, Games Together, to do everything with the community from faction creation to gameplay ideas to actually implementing some universe lore. Each of our games has its own unique identity and style, but whether it's fantasy or science fiction, it all takes place in the same endless universe. And in fact, we specifically developed the universe to create an epic background for adventure and exploration. The universe is unbounded. We didn't make any maps because we didn't want to set any limits. In fact, we wanted to have a deep and mysterious past where these vast, shadowy civilizations fought galaxy-wide battles. The idea is to create a place where, together with the player, we could tell infinite stories.
After creating this rich, deep backstory, one of the questions we asked ourselves was, how can we further showcase the universe? Endless Space 2 Stories was the answer. In this short comic book format, we were able to change the scope of the storytelling from the broad, galaxy-spanning canvas of our strategy games to something more personal, more human, where the individuals could make history. Every comic starts with a pitching session where the core team throw ideas around. The most important aspects of these meetings is to ensure that the imagination can flourish. Together, the team comes up with several ideas, which is whittled back to one storyline or direction.
After the script phase, there are all graphical aspects to ensure. Obviously, the first thing to do is find artists who can do the job. Max Renor and Denis Medry, two experienced artists, were the first ones to be selected. We also had an eye on Park Yoon-seung, a talented artist from South Korea. And I personally took charge of 2 comics myself. It was something completely out of my comfort zone, but I was up to the challenge. The first step of making the comics is the concept phase. We ask the artist to draw some sketches of the key elements of the story, such as the main characters with alternative design and some backgrounds. Then there is the storyboard phase, which is basically a simplified version of the comic itself. It gives us an idea of the rhythm we want to implement and the compositions we want to display in the story. In short, the script answers the question, what do we want to tell? While the storyboard answers the question, how do we tell this? Once the storyboard is approved, we can let the artist do the drawings, which will then lead to the inking phase, by far the longest phase of them all. In the case of the Endless Space 2 Stories series, the direction we took for the coloring was to keep everything simple and coherent. This is the reason why we have grayscale for all the stories, and to make it stand out, we have one flashy color per comic to highlight some elements in the panels.
We want our games to be immersive experiences with characters, factions, species that have these storied pasts and really complex relationships. In fact, we thought the comics would be a neat way to answer some of the lore questions that we're always getting, either directly or hinting indirectly at what might have happened, while others are vignettes of an ordinary or extraordinary day of some being somewhere in the endless galaxy.
The Unfallen comics are also a way for the players to get more involved in the creative process. We wanted players to be able to vote on who the protagonist would be and how the Unfallen would be perceived through his eyes. We wanted to create a riff on the classic Choose Your Own Adventure. Essentially, players can vote at what will happen at different key turning points in the plot. It's another way for us to let you influence the universe and even to control its destiny. And because we love you guys, all of the comics are available for free. If you're interested in the Endless games, check them out on Steam. Enjoy your trip in the Endless universe, and we hope to hear from you soon.